Hey, what's up guys? JD Venom here, part of Venom Nation Wrestling, and this is the wrestling news and rumors for today, September the 2nd, 2016. Let's get into our top story, and something I did report back on Wednesday here, that Alberto Del Rio is going to leave WWE once his 30-day suspension is over. He is currently serving his first violation of the WWE's wellness policy, which is currently a 30-day suspension. But some news on possibly on some more motivation of him leaving WWE, and just getting the story just keeps getting worse and worse as the days go on. But apparently Mr. Saint Laroute, who's broken WWE scoops in the past, he spoke about the Alberto Del Rio Paige relationship with former WCW wrestler and matchmaker Kevin Sullivan. And on the latest episode of MSL and Sullivan on MLWradio.com. And they talked about Mark Carrano. If you guys know who Mark Carrano is, he was, part of Total Divas, so he's a, he's kind of like the Office guy. And apparently he approached Del Rio and Paige individually and harassed them each about their relationship. And it was indicated that the Office wanted them to sever their romantic relationship. And MSL, which is the radio show that we're talking about here, continue on that WWE, pretty much threatened to fire Paige if she and Del Rio did not split up. So that, if this is true, that is really jacked up. I think this is more jacked up than the whole CM Punk thing. When CM Punk was denied any type of medical help when he was going through the MRSA infection before he left WWE. But there's more going on here. It says a lot of people speculated if this was the reason WWE split them up in the draft, which kind of makes sense. And also says here that that's definitely what happened. The company did not want them together. They split them up in the draft by design and threatened to fire Paige if she did not break up with Del Rio. So those are the actual quotes from Mr. Saint Laroute from the MSL and Sullivan show. Wow. So currently right now we know that Paige is also serving a 30-day suspension for her first violation of the WWE wellness policy. She's also dealing with back and shoulder injuries. Del Rio is reportedly finished with WWE after being unhappy over creative decisions for months now, and will be free to work anywhere immediately, pretty much. So, if this is true, guys, this is so bad. This is so bad, straight. I don't blame Paige if she wants to leave WWE as well. I mean, splitting them up in the draft because they are together and they don't like that they are actually dating. Who gives a shit if they're dating or not? Who really gives a shit if they're dating or not? I mean, that's real fucked up if you ask me. But if this is true though, man, that's something. That is something. That's possibly one of the worst things I heard that WWE, in my opinion, has done. For two individual, wrestlers that work for the company, and you're on the road 300 days a year, and you can't really get out and meet people. So a lot of people actually marry within the business. You see, I don't want to bring up this unfortunate situation, but you've seen Nancy Benoit, Chris Benoit. You've seen Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth. You've seen, I believe it's Jey Uso and Naomi. I'm not sure if it's Jey or Jimmy that's married to Naomi. But the point of the matter is that you see this all the time. It's a very common thing in professional wrestling that two workers, man and woman, they like each other, they start dating, and eventually they marry each other. It's a common thing. So I don't understand why WWE officials do not like them being together. I don't understand it. I don't know. I don't understand it. But it's real messed up. If this is really true, that's real messed up. But I don't want to keep ranting about this. I want to get to the next story here. That official announcement from Triple H, really, and WWE, that WWE is going to be going to Toronto for the next NXT takeover. So that's going to be awesome for the next NXT TakeOver. That's going to be in Toronto. And this is going to be for Survivor Series this year. So pretty much they're going to be part of, Survivor Series weekend. So they were there for WrestleMania. They were there for SummerSlam. The SummerSlam just happened in Brooklyn. Now they're going to be in Toronto for Survivor Series, and which is going to be on Saturday the 19th. Then Survivor Series is going to be on the 20th. Raw is going to be on the 21st. So, good news about this is the crowd should be hot as hell for, the NXT show, the Raw after, and also Survivor Series itself. Now, also on top of that as well, they're in Toronto. Toronto's already a great wrestling crowd as well. But maybe it looks like NXT, they're going to start doing their takeovers at the Big 4 pay-per-views. So they got 4 pay-per-views a year. And it looks like here that they could possibly, I just want to speculate at this time, that they could be at the Royal Rumble, the next NXT takeover show. So that's going to be good for NXT. That's going to be a couple months for them to build up their show going into Toronto. So on to our next story here. Speaking of NXT, we got some results from this week's Performance Center Combine. So the Performance Center is in Florida as well. Basically near Full Sail University in Florida, and it looks like here that 2 particular wrestlers, or soon to be wrestlers, did very well. So apparently Bianca Belair and Riddick Moss were the female and male leaders at the Performance Center Combine. Also to note, other notes at the Combine, Mata and Patrick Clark were number 2 and 3 respectively at the Combine as well for the men. So it's good to see that Patrick Clark, he's still trying to live his dream. It's good to see that Mata is actually taking WWE seriously. He wasn't just saying, oh, I'm going to be taking it seriously. It's good to see that these guys are actually taking it seriously, and and they're still developing. So hopefully we can see these guys on NXT TV soon as a prominent, on-screen characters with those 2. I would love to see that. On to our next story here. John Cena himself, he went to go do another Make-A-Wish, and it's pretty cool when John Cena does this. Despite what we all think about John Cena, you have to respect the man. You may not like his in-ring skill, but you have to respect the man like John Cena, that he is, doing this for little kids, who's like their dying wish to meet John Cena. Rather if they have like some type of mental disability, if they have some type of sickness or anything, or it's their dying wish to meet John Cena. That's pretty awesome, John Cena to do, and he just made another wish come true for Christian's wish before SmackDown in Dallas. So awesome to see from John Cena. No matter what you have to say about John Cena, he is you can tell he really loves to do what he does, and he loves doing it for the kids. Not the biggest John Cena fan out there either, but I mean, you gotta respect the man that does something like this, and you can't really say anything bad about him. You really can't say anything bad about John Cena the person, so that's pretty cool. And our last story here today is Rusev and Lana. They had their official wedding, I want to say, because this wedding looks a lot more elegant than the one that they had on Total Divas. So I believe the one that they had on Total Divas was just the one for Total Divas. This one here was in Bulgaria, and this one looks a lot more costly, I will say. You can see Rusev and Lana both in crowns. Rusev's in a full tuxedo. Lana's in a full wedding gown, and they look happy together. Congratulations both to Lana and Rusev on their second marriage, and hopefully a long lasting relationship. Love is good, guys. Love is good. Well, speaking of love, I am going to go and get out of here. I love you guys to death. I am going to go and get out of here. If you guys want to hear more from me here, definitely leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and like the Facebook page, where both links are down below. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another video. Peace out.